At this moment, Orus Hill. A man wearing a mask appeared at the subway station near Treasure's Pavilion. There are a large number of monitoring probes at the subway station entrance, some of which are security videos of the subway, some are monitoring of the city's Skynet, and several new high-end cameras equipped with face recognition functions. In recent years, with the rapid development of technology, face recognition has successfully emerged from science fiction films and entered the lives of ordinary people. Not only does the mobile phone support facial recognition, more importantly, the police also has a complete set of facial recognition systems connected to big data. The biggest use of this system is to quickly screen a large number of people. For example, if hundreds of people come to the front if there is a wanted criminal mixed in, then relying on police officers to check one by one will not only be inefficient, but it is also particularly prone to omissions. However, now with the face recognition system, when hundreds of people pass by quickly, the system can directly identify the identities of hundreds of people through face recognition. At the same time, the system will immediately verify the identities of hundreds of people. If there are fugitives or suspects, the police will get system reminders as soon as possible. The most typical example is that a well-known Hong Kong singer came to the mainland to hold a concert. At each concert, the police can always catch several fugitives from the tens of thousands of audience at the arena. Why is there such high efficiency? Almost all rely on the powerful features of face recognition. Therefore, with the increasing development of science and technology, the possibility of criminals trying to escape legal sanctions has become less and less. At this moment, the man wearing a mask looked around, then reached into his pocket and took out a pack of cigarettes that were very dry and crumpled. He tore open the cigarette case and found that there was not even a single cigarette inside, so he stepped to the mobile convenience store at the subway station entrance and said in a low voice to the shopkeeper, "Boss, give me a package of Dunhill." The shopkeeper hurriedly asked, "Soft or hard?" The man opened his mouth and said, "Soft." The shopkeeper took out a pack of soft Dunhill from the glass cabinet and handed it to him, while saying, 65. The man directly threw him 100 bills and said lightly, "No need to look for change." The shopkeeper was overjoyed and said with a busy smile, "Oh, thank you." The man took the cigarette and turned around. He had already taken apart the plastic film on the outside of the cigarette packet and then tore the right side of the case. Afterward, he skillfully tapped his fingers on the left side of the cigarette case, and a cigarette came out of the torn opening on the right. He took out the cigarette and took off the mask he was wearing, revealing a fierce face with Chinese characters. He held the cigarette in his mouth, took a hard sip after lighting it, and then turned his head to look around. He glanced at the rows of surveillance cameras at the subway entrance and wiped a resolute smile on the corner of his mouth. He has been on the run for 3 years. In the past 3 years, he has lived a ghostly life, hiding in Tibet, and has long been exhausted. He wanted to find opportunities to sneak overseas so that he could give himself a sigh of relief, but he didn't have the ability at all, and he didn't have the opportunity. So he can only hide everywhere with a hunger for what he desired. The only thing that can bring him comfort is that he and his family have a very secret contact method that even the police do not know about yet. It is precisely because of this contact method that his family members contacted him 2 days ago and told him that someone gave them 10 million and in return wants him to kill a person. After the work is done, he could use his contacts to send him abroad. Because his family had received this 10 million, he was moved almost instantly. Anyway, he was tired of the days of hiding everywhere, earning 10 million for his family, and giving himself a chance of complete liberation. He had no reason to refuse. So, he moved to Orus Hill yesterday, ready to play. According to the owner's request, he had to find a surveillance camera to expose himself before escaping to a place called Treasure's Pavilion. Now, what he is doing is to expose himself and let the Orus Hill police know that he is here. At this moment, the Orus Hill Police Command Office. The police's face recognition system suddenly issued a harsh warning sound, and the police officer on duty was shocked when he saw it. On the computer screen, a system prompt has popped up with a line written on it. Identified by the face recognition system, a level wanted criminal shred has appeared in our city. Please verify immediately. The police officer on duty hurriedly retrieved the live video automatically captured by the system. After a closer look, he was shocked. He quickly picked up the emergency phone on the desktop and blurted out, "A level wanted criminal Shred appeared at the Ladong Road metro station. Please implement the arrest immediately." The whole Orus Hill police blew up. A level wanted criminals to appear in Orus Hill. This is definitely the last thing the local police want to see, because once this criminal makes a big case in the local area, not only will the local people suffer, they will also have to bear huge public pressure. As a result, the police immediately mobilized the city's police force and decided to arrest Shred at the earliest. At this time, Shred received a text message on his mobile phone. "Orus Hill police have found you. A patrol car is rushing to catch you. Pay attention to your right-hand side. It is still 800 meters away from you." After reading the text, Shred gritted his teeth and stared at the right side unblinkingly. Soon, a police car in the distance appeared in the field of vision and kept approaching. However, the policemen didn't turn on the lights or the siren, so it didn't look like they were performing an emergency mission. But Shred knew in his heart that the people who spent money to hire him had a good eye. Since the other party said that the car was here to catch him, he would definitely not make a mistake. He watched the car getting closer, and could feel his heartbeat in his throat. He didn't have a rush, because he knew that the person who hired him had a requirement, and he had to be chased into the treasures pavilion next to him by the police, instead of running over by himself. So, he was smoking a cigarette in his mouth, while calculating the distance and timing. He is now standing on the sidewalk, the road is higher, and there are a lot of shared bicycles on the side of the road. Therefore, after the police car drove to the front of the motorway, it was impossible to drive the car directly in front of him, and could only pull over on the motorway and then walk over. This at least 12 meters of walking distance is his chance to escape. He knew that this was to coax the city police, and they would definitely not shoot directly, so with the advantage of more than 10 meters and a faster starting speed, the police officer would not be able to catch up with him, and he would be able to run into the treasure pavilion. In that way, the opponent chased all the way, escaped all the way, and rushed directly into the treasures pavilion. At this moment, the police car was almost in front of him. He glanced at the police car in surprise, and when the police car pulled over, he began to back up cautiously. At this time, the door of the police car opened, and several police officers pretended to be on a routine patrol, got out of the car slowly, preparing to paralyze Shred, and then waited for the opportunity to approach. However, Shred was very nervous. He took a puff of the cigarette, threw his cigarette butt to the ground, turned around, and ran back. Several police officers wanted to approach quietly, but when they thought that Shred was so nervous, one of them immediately shouted, "Shred, stop there!" Shred didn't look back at all and ran forward like crazy. Several police officers hurriedly pursued. Relying on his leading advantage, Shred took the police around twice and rushed directly to the treasure pavilion not far away. The police officers at the head were desperately chasing while using the intercom to report, "Shred has a strong anti-reconnaissance awareness. He started to flee when he saw us. Now he has escaped into the treasures pavilion. Request the city bureau to immediately send police forces to block the pavilion and implement the full encircling protocol. We need to catch him now."